So Sherry and Dwight are back together again. This is too easy. All right, guys, welcome to the Catch Up Aftershow for Fear the Walking Dead, Episode 3, titled Alaska. So this is probably not going to be that much of a review. I said I was going to try to cut down on these anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this and knock it out. Honestly, guys, I don't think this episode was the strongest. At some point, I think Fear was there was gonna fall off at some point. I think it was gonna go for 3 for 3. This episode was just okay for me until the end of the episode. I think that's what ultimately saved this. For the most part, I was just kind of out of it. I really didn't care about the Althea and Isabel trying to get back together and all that stuff, but nothing was really hard hitting in this episode. And except for the whole Dwight being infected, but I'm like, they're not gonna take Dwight out this fast. So yeah, he got infected with like some type of bubonic plague that was going on inside that building. They went inside with those infected people, and but yeah, I'll get into that towards later in the episode. I'm already skipping around, but we'll start off in the beginning of the episode where we see Morgan. We only see him for a short bit, and they cut his hair. Why? They should have kept his hair. I thought it was nice symbolism of how he is transformed from Namaste Morgan to I gotta do what I gotta do, the headhunter Morgan, right? So I was kind of disappointed in that, but you know, it is what it is. Just something very minor. But Morgan he has this fear, as we found out his discussion with Isaac's wife, I forgot her name. So that when he meets with his people, ultimately, he's afraid that they won't recognize him because the person he thinks he's becoming. So we'll see how his character develops towards the end of the series. But for the most part, that was all we got on Morgan. Not much there, but most of the episode focuses on Althea and everybody's favorite former savior, Dwight. So I'll just touch on, like, towards the end of another episode, Dwight does meet back up with Sherry. So spoiler alert, whatever, but y'all should have watched it by now. If you're watching this review without watching the episode, why? But okay, yeah, I think something is definitely going to be up. This is just way too easy. There's going to be some type of plot twist. So I'm going to explain my predictions. I think they might be a little bit off, but this is just something that came to mind when I was watching the episode. But stick around towards the end of the review for my thoughts on that. But let's get back to Al and Dwight. And they're basically scavenging for Jenny now, who's basically separated everybody else. So at some point we'll find out where everybody else is as far as, you know, where Jenny has them. But for now, Al and Dwight scavenge for Jenny. So while they're out and about, they also do this thing where they're collecting like driver's licenses with different states on them. So that's where the title of the episode comes in at. So in particular, they're looking for Alaska, which they do find later in the episode. Althea, she gets a radio signal from Isabel. Now, they're not in direct contact. She just happens to be on her channel. So she's still spying and trying to, you know, stay in touch with Isabel. So that's basically where this episode is heading towards. So Dwight, he is sitting around when the incoming transmission comes in. He's like, who's that? So she pretty much spills the beans that it's Isabel, or he basically find out that it's Isabel. And during the episode, they refer to her as Beer Lady. So they go off to find out where this transmission is coming from. She thinks it's coming from the city, where she's making recent like trips back and forth to a certain spot within the city. So they're going to the spot within the city. And they run it into this building. And before they approach the building, they find a walker with the ID, with an Alaskan ID. And this guy is actually from the building, who we find out who was possibly shot by Isabel, because they're making back and forth trips to the top of the tower that they're about to walk inside. Um, so that's where he comes from, and we found this out because they run into two more strangers inside the building who hold them at gunpoint, and they question them as far as what they're doing, why they have, because they're wearing body cameras as well, so they record the footage. That's what they find. So basically, their thing is they're supposed to be finding other people that Jenny can save, quotation marks. So with that being said, we found out that these people also are a bunch of other people that used to work with inside that like corporate building or whatever, and they have this bubonic plague infection going on. And Althea, as soon as she found that out, she got up out of there real quick, and she trapped them inside, and she was pretty much like, Dwight, it's over for them. Hey, look, we need to keep going up to the top of this tower. I'm trying to find my boo. I'm trying to find Isabel, right? So we go on from there until the lady, I think her name was Nora. I guess she somehow gets out of the room or whatever that they have her trapped in, and she helps them. Well, Althea and Dwight are trapped in a room with walkers, and she comes in, she kills them for them, and then she helps them go further up to the tower to meet Isabel, who they think is up there or whatnot. But also in the episode, we get a little scare of Dwight having the bubonic infection on his neck. And now dang well they're not gonna get rid of Dwight this early, so I'm like, okay, somehow they're gonna save him. Um, and of course, when she gets to the top of the tower, she finds the supplies, the medical supplies, to help everybody as far as those who have been infected. So she just happens to find the supplies, but unfortunately, Isabel is not there. But she comes like towards the building, and Althea gets on the radio signal, and she basically tells her, hey, turn away here, there's infected. So Althea makes the hard choice of not reuniting with Isabel, because all her actions beforehand were pretty selfish, with locking the people inside the room and pretty much not caring about anything except getting back with Isabel. But at the end of the episode, she decides to turn that down. So for now, I guess we're not going to be seeing any reunification of Isabel and Althea. Honestly, I really don't care. But like I said, I just really wasn't into this episode that much. I just didn't care about it. As far as that plot that was going on in this episode. So, what else do I have to talk about? So she found the medicine, everybody's cured, hooray. So they found some more people, but she tells them that she doesn't want them to join Jenny. So she's going to find another place, a better place, which I assume is the safe haven right now that Morgan is stashed at with Isaac's wife. So somehow they're probably going to get to that place. But at the end of the episode, where Althea fires the flare gun, Sherry happens to see this. So towards the end of the episode, she comes in on the radio, and then Dwight recognizes the voice, and then they see each other. And now I'm thinking, the old cliche where somebody's about to reunite, and then pow, just a gun or something out of nowhere. There may be, I thought that was going to happen at first, but no, they meet up, and they're back together. But something isn't right about this. I don't think it is. Something is not right. This is way too easy. So here's my prediction. We did see earlier in the episode where somebody had spray painted that phrase, the end is the beginning, like the dude did with the boat. I think somehow that Sherry might be involved with these people. Because I was just like, okay, y'all happen to see this message, and then you happen to see Sherry. So I don't know, maybe they were scouting the building or something. I don't know. I think she's a part of the group somehow. And then Dwight is going to find this out. I think Dwight is probably going to go off with her. He's not going to be returning with Althea, because they did mention the episode where Dwight was trying to come up with a plan to fake Althea's death, as far as finding a walker that kind of looked like her, that recently turned or something. The plan was something like that. And he said he was going to use this just in case he found Sherry. So I think he's going to like try to fake his death, and he's going to go off with Sherry, and then Sherry's going to introduce him to the people that probably they're spray painting that message as far as whatever. I think she has to do something with them. I'm not sure, but like I said, it is a far-fetched prediction, but that's what I was thinking when I saw this, because I'm like, man, this is way too easy. There's going to be a plot twist. But with that being said, this episode, it was just cool. I think it was saved by the ending of the episode. It was nice to see Sherry and Dwight finally back together again. But yeah, I do definitely think something is up. So hopefully episode 4 has a little bit more. It's a little more action packed. But as far as right now, I don't think they went 3 for 3. I think there was just a cool down episode, if I were to be honest. But it did have that big moment of Sherry and Dwight reuniting. But with that being said, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Tell me how y'all thought about the episode. Do y'all think that Fear can continue the little winning streak that they had? I think hopefully they'll pick back up with 4. But, if y'all like this episode, let me know. But yeah. If y'all like this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see y'all for next week's episode. Peace out.